connect our voices in Parliament. The drum calls the people of Parliament, through whom we govern together. And the sun is our country, healing our past, improving our lives, and energizing our potential. Together, our Constitution, our people, our Parliament, and our country are building our great South African nation. Parliament TV, Channel 408 on DSTV.
South Africa's Parliament will proudly host the 11th G20 Parliamentary Speakers Summit, known as the P20, bringing together leaders from G20 national parliaments to shape global policies and reinforce parliamentary oversight in international decision-making. As the first African country to lead the P20, South Africa's Parliament is championing Africa's active participation in global governance and economic policymaking, ensuring the continent is a driving force in shaping the future we want. Parliament will play a critical oversight role, ensuring that South Africa's commitments as G20 president translate into real economic growth, job creation, and social development. The P20 summit will embed African perspectives in global decision-making, ensuring that policies on trade, technology, and governance reflect the continent's needs and aspirations. In alignment with SONA 2025's theme, Harnessing Parliamentary Diplomacy for the Realization of Global Solidarity, Equality, and Sustainability, Parliament is committed to fostering international collaboration for a better, more just world. Your Parliament, your voice, your future.
Tumelang, good morning and a very warm welcome to Parliament TV, your premier destination for live coverage and in-depth analysis of the work of Parliament. And thank you for joining us for the special edition right here on Parliament TV, coming to you live from the Parliamentary Precinct in Cape Town. And today, as the National Council of Provinces concludes its pivotal local government week, we shift our focus to celebrate a significant acknowledgement that shines a light on South Africa's role in the international parliamentary community. Now, we are honored to be joined by a distinguished guest who has not only been participating in the week's crucial deliberations in the NCOP, but has also been nominated to a leadership position within the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Women's Network Championship. Now, in studio with us is the Honorable Speaker of the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Legislature, Ms. Nontembeko Boyce. Speaker, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you also for having me.
Speaker, congratulations on your nomination, firstly. How significant is this nomination, not only to you personally, but also to the KwaZulu-Natal legislature?
Firstly, for me, it came as a surprise, and when it started, I didn't even think that the Women's Caucus would garner so much support. But what it has done is building us as a women's caucus in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, build us to have that boldness in understanding that actually we're a family. Because immediately we were nominated by the caucus of KwaZulu-Natal, the rest of the branches, that is all 9 legislatures, including the leader of the delegation of South Africa to the CPA, which is the chairperson of the NCOP, also affirmed that. And we felt that probably there's something that they might have seen, but importantly, it was speaking to the character of the governance in South Africa, the cooperative governance, where we are all family and are always family. Yes. And we felt that probably they see what we are trying to do in KwaZulu-Natal.
Now, with that, for viewers who are not familiar, could you just explain to us what the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians Network is and why it matters?
The CPA, that is the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, is an association of parliaments and parliamentarians throughout those countries that were formerly in the Commonwealth and that still participate in the Commonwealth. Then the wing that was established later was the CWP, the Women Parliamentarians. It was meant to ensure that across members of the CPA, there is participation and inclusion of women in politics. And it has to start with the few that might have been at the time elected as parliamentarians, having to reach out, but also to build the capacity of women once they are in the corridors of power and lawmaking. Yes. How do they become better leaders, both for themselves in the work that they are doing, for the parties they represent? Also important, how do they go back to ensure that more women in their countries participate in the decision making that would be there? Ensure that democracy is built, but there is inclusion of women, not only in politics. Now, once there is that inclusion, it must then move to all sectors. Yes. As you would see that in South Africa, we have what is called gender complementing legislations, where you would have that, we have got that equality that is needed, where we have the EEA to ensure that there is women representations. The rest of the legislation that we might be having in South Africa, be it the Marriages Act and others, they are also complementing or affirming a gendered role in the whole facet of life. So the CWP is to equip women when they are working in parliament to oversee the work of the executive, not to leave out the side that relates to the empowerment of the genders. Mostly we see it as if it's directly only for women, but it goes into the inclusion in line with the constitution of a country. It would mean the inclusion of even persons with disabilities, the youth, and everybody that is demarcated as people that were previously disadvantaged in our own constitution. And
Speaker, if elected chairperson, what priorities then would you champion during your tenure?
If the delegates that we would be with next month in Barbados trust us, I would champion first. The first priority is what we have in South Africa, which is ensuring that there is a representation. But beyond representation, because the late Speaker, Jinwala, once said, let's go beyond the numbers. Beyond a representation and being there, what is the responsibilities given to women? And how are women responding to that? So we will be championing issues of women accountability, so that the few women that may be there might be accountable. They must perform their duties that they are given as expected, but also account to us as women generally now by creating more spaces for occupation by women, especially the younger generations of women. Also, dealing with these challenges we also sometimes have, the generational challenges that we have, where we might think that we no longer need the older or the old women. We think that probably sometimes, even myself, I must be categorized as young. I'm not young, I'm old. We still need the experience, but we need unity to speak in one voice. The only thing that we must be doing is creating more spaces. There are countries in the Commonwealth where you have states. State is like a province where there is not even one woman. Wow. One woman represented there. And even at the national level, whilst we are complaining that in KwaZulu-Natal we've moved down because this year we've got 32 women this term. Now, there are states that would kill to have that. Now, we are moving towards ensuring that if we get elected, we don't just have programs and say that they must have programs of inclusion. We lobby. We want to lobby for women to be elected. We want to go and speak to communities for active participation by women. But how do we lobby? It's not only that we are going to go lobby and talk. By demonstrating that where women are given chances to lead, they lead better. KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Legislature, for the past 5 consecutive financial years, we've been having clean audit. The speaker there is a woman all these years. The secretary there is a woman. So we'll need that accountability, both from women in politics and also women that are in administration. So that's how we lobby. We'll lead by ensuring that what we do we share how to achieve it with the rest of the Commonwealth.
And still, with all these achievements, Speaker, that you've highlighted, what are still the challenges that women face specifically in politics?
I've just said to you, we are 32. Go check the population of KwaZulu-Natal. We are more than 50% as women. Go check the population of South Africa. Generally, in South Africa, there is only one party that ensures that there are women equally to men in their list. So in South Africa, one of the challenges that we still are facing is the upcoming amendment of electoral laws. Whilst we think that we have achieved, there are countries that still have a law that would allow them to participate, to ensure that there is at least a semblance of representation. In South Africa, of course, there's still high rates of gender-based violence. We have done many things. We have had many platforms where we were engaging, but still, what is it that we are doing that we need to have to do differently? We need to sit down and understand. Probably, don't we need more substantive collaborations that would not only be us on this side as lawmakers, this side the executioners, and then out there the community. How do we get together, drive together, not someone, you know, there's already that what has been happening in South Africa, the issue that have led to even having these commissions. I mean, I think it was a symposium and later on a convention on gender-based violence. We've heard that. How do we ensure that we oversee the implementation of that in all spheres of government? So we still have challenges, but of course, when you look at us, we are at least bit better. Then we phase out when we are compared to the likes of Rwanda in the continent, which is the one that's leading globally. There is also Namibia right next door.
Yes.
We have to learn from Namibia how they have achieved what they have achieved so far. So those are little contributions that we'll have to make, because remember, we have to lobby. We have to agree together as women in the Commonwealth. So if they were to give me that opportunity, I want to champion that lobbying. I want to champion the substantive collaborations amongst women beyond political lines, beyond racial lines, beyond borders of sovereign countries, like we are doing in KwaZulu-Natal. The Women's Caucus of KwaZulu-Natal is part of 3 countries. They are now adding the 4th one that also have started this work. Our Women's Caucus is working together with the Caucus of Malawi, the Republic of Malawi, the Republic of Zimbabwe, and also now they are working together with the one of the Republic of Zambia, because our chairperson has been recently to Zambia. Now, the reason she's able to do that and even foster this, because eventually it must come here to the National Assembly and to the NCOP, so that KwaZulu-Natal steps back, but we have led in ensuring that there is harmony, there are discussions and collaborations.
And Speaker, then having spoken about Namibia, having spoken about Rwanda, that leads, of course, in terms of women representation, especially in politics, how does South Africa's leadership in parliamentary networks, such as the CWP, strengthen the country's role in advancing gender equality worldwide?
I think that South African leadership will continue from where, because before me, if I were to lead, there have been 2 women. Amongst others, in my time in Parliament, there have been 2 women who have led. The advocate Maseko, who was the Speaker of Gauteng and later a member of the National Assembly, has led the CWP and CPA in Africa. The current Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Togo Titiza, has been the chairperson of the network. There is also the current chairperson of the NCOP, who is doing a great work of being amongst the very few women who are leaders of the delegations and representatives of countries. But she's different because she's just not representing only a country because it's only the National Assembly. She's harnessing 9 branches plus 1 branch to be together, see things in the same way. So if we come in, we have that ground that was laid before us by the Honorable Mutsweni to work closely together with her in ensuring that there is harmony in South Africa, but also that harmony is shared elsewhere, including why most of the time South Africa would be leading in presentations when there are workshops. Recently we went to Rwanda, where I was presenting on the state of the complementary legislation in South Africa. Now we would build from there, move together, but importantly, the key aspect for South Africa is to share the skills. How have we come here? Because we've got a history that may be unique to others. How have we achieved what we achieved? What have been driving us? And share with others. Also learn, because other countries may not have the high rates of gender-based violence like we're having in South Africa. The challenges of unemployment, the challenges of immigration that we're facing as a country and as a nation. How do we deal with them? You've recently heard that there are countries that have started to speak about the change of visa requirements between them in Africa. How do we hold that as a yardstick for ensuring that whilst we are protecting our borders, but we are able to share on human development across the continent, but also across the globe, as the 180 would come from 9 regions, because it's not only Africa. It would be Africa, the ABC, and other, including, importantly, India, who is also part of the working together closely with South Africa when it calls to BRICS. How do we bring all this together and take it to a higher level for women of South Africa in politics and outside politics to be united and move together?
Now, talking about learning from other countries and what it is that they do in terms of politics representing women and ensuring that women are equally represented within all other sectors as well, what lessons can other Commonwealth countries learn from South Africa, especially when it comes to promoting women's leadership?
South Africa has got set-asides. Not many countries have set-asides. But also South Africa does not have set-asides, that are at the level of everywhere else. Of course, except with a few exceptions. Like, I know that we've never had a president that is a woman. We've never had that. But South Africa has, from the onset, had women that are speakers at the National Assembly, where it's the heart of political contestation in the Republic. And women here have held that. You go to the NCOP, right from the founding of the NCOP in 1996 after the Constitution, you would see the members, the caliber of women that have been leading, the likes of Dr. Pando and others. Now, when you look at that and the experiences that we might share, we would already be a little bit ahead, because we may not have had them as presidents, but we've always had women leading in South Africa. In South Africa, there is these multi-party platforms where we are having, where we know we don't go there and say that we are coming here only as parliamentarians. In South Africa, we go knowingly that these are women from different parties, but we get united by one vision. Now, to get people who are coming outside the confines of being parliamentarians, get them from where they come and speak in the same voice, and you find that, no, South Africa has had those shares. But also, lastly, the tolerance. Women of South Africa are very tolerant. I am not saying we walkovers. Women of South Africa engage with different opinions. They accept when they are being made accountable by society, even based on standards that may not be necessarily the standards that would be needed to make that assessment. But South African women have been having it hard, and we think that as we continue, we must inspire others so that make your relevance yourself. Don't wait for people to make you relevant. How do you make your relevance be there? By ensuring that you perform where you are given a task, by ensuring that you are inclusive, you consult, but also by being yourself. There are things that people would be forced, I don't like to do this, and no, we don't do things that we don't feel comfortable with. But also we are able to call each other out, say, you are now misrepresenting us. So we want to share that with the world. And of course, the women speakers before me have done that. I am just building.
And Speaker, What are you looking most forward to, especially with the conference in Barbados? What is the one thing that you're really, really looking forward to?
Okay, of course, I am looking forward to see women democratically decide. It would be nice if they decide that it is me who is the chairperson. But if it's democracy, I'm looking forward to that. To see women decide on who their leadership should be. But I'm also looking at us, that when we go to Barbados, looking at the resolutions of the CW, of the conference holistically.
Yes.
How do we ensure that the time or the amount of time allocated to women gets to be improved? Not just improved in terms of hours, in terms of how we use it and how we build each other. You know, when we get to the CWP network business meeting, it's a business meeting, of course. It's not the actual conference.
Yes.
The resolutions that we take there every year, shouldn't we start checking how far have we gone?
Yeah.
There are countries that have came back to report that there is progress, but also in that progress, like countries like Sierra Leone, who had gone through a process of having a legislation that wanted a certain percentage given to them. And now, how are they doing now that they have it?
Yeah.
There are elections in Tanzania as we speak. There are elections in Malawi. There'll be elections in Uganda by the time we're there. How do we benchmark and assess the participation of the CWP itself in the pre-electoral phase to ensure that women candidates are supported, but not just supported, but are also known and speak what resonates with the women from their different countries are doing.
And lastly, Speaker, what is your message to girls, to young women who have challenges throughout in different sectors, not just in politics, and who want and have a vision to be in leadership positions?
That's the difficult part. I always say when speaking to young women, especially girls, make the women that are leaders accountable. Make them remember that they are leading on your behalf. When you have difficulties and challenges, check the women that saying are representing you. Check the Nontembekos. What is it that they should do or they can do to make your situation better? But learn from each other. Don't go and get into alliances that will compromise you, that will move you from your goal. I was last week in one of the schools in KwaZulu-Natal and doing civic education. There is this person that they had called, it might coincidentally was a reverend, who told them about looking at the target. Have a target. Know what you want to achieve and how to achieve it. You will get people along the way that will hold your hand. Allow people to hold your hand, but don't let people take your hand. Gender-based violence and femicide comes in when people say, I'm taking your hand. This is the direction, and moving you away from your goals.
Yes.
Do that, but don't forget keeping women in leadership, wherever you are in South Africa, accountable to you as young women.
And all the viewers that want to know about your work in the KZN legislature, that want to know about the work that you do, not only in the legislature, but in the province as a whole, where can they get that information?
The KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Legislature have got social media pages. They have, we have the Facebook page, which is the KwaZulu-Natal. We put everything there because we are a team of women, firstly, because I am currently having a deputy speaker with me, who's also a woman.
Yes.
So we are a team of women. We have ensured that we focus, we've put areas of focus. Amongst them, it is the development of the girl child through civic education, the inclusion of women that are vulnerable. So both myself and the deputy speaker's work and the legislature of KwaZulu-Natal, you find it in that same page, including that one of the multi-party women's caucus. We also have the YouTube channel.
Yes.
But you also find it. There is also the KwaZulu-Natal legislature website where people can go, the WW page of KwaZulu-Natal. If you can go to that page, you'll find our work. But importantly, we also from time to time get to put it in our own pages. I'm also available on social media, both on in fact, yeah, I might not be active in all the pages, but I have a Twitter page. I also have, oh, it's called X now.
It's X now.
The X page, and I also have a Facebook page that I'm active. For instance, on Monday,
yes,
I will be on the 22nd. I will be at Ezinqoleni High School in Ezinqoleni cluster of Renkonyeni local municipality, where we are having about 11 schools that are coming together in an expo. We have been assisted by the likes of DTIC, Department of Science, Technology and Innovation, Higher Education, the institutions. Do log into our page on Monday because it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a worthwhile day. There will be all the 11 secondary schools of the Ezinqoleni cluster there.
Thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure, always a pleasure. And of course, ambitious and inspiring goals there by the Honourable Speaker of the KZN legislature. And of course, we congratulate her once again for her well-deserved nomination. And that was an insightful conversation with a leader who is poised to represent South Africa on a prestigious continental stage. And that's all the time that we have for the special edition of Parliament TV. And of course, you can stay here because we're still reporting on Local Government Week 2025. Now, to our distinguished guests, we thank them again. And to you, our viewers, thank you for watching Parliament TV. Stay tuned.
From the 16th to the 19th of September, the National Council of Provinces hosts Local Government Week 2025 under the theme Restoring the Dignity of Our People through Proper Spatial Planning, Provision of Human Settlements, Water and Sanitation. This flagship program brings together Parliament, provinces and municipalities to strengthen oversight, improve accountability and fast-track service delivery. A key objective of Local Government Week is to strengthen intergovernmental cooperation in driving oversight and accountability within the local sphere. This year's focus areas are human settlements, water and sanitation, and spatial planning in the city of Cape Town, with site visits to Gugulethu, Danun, Khayelitsha, and Philippi. The program will conclude with a high-level debate in the NCOP. Catch us live across Parliament's platforms from 16 to 19 September and follow us on our social media platforms using the handle @ParliamentofRSA and visit our website www.parliament.gov.za for more information. Your Parliament, your voice, your future.